Okay, here we are, picking up where we left off. Just super quick, let me get through the slop here. Gutters soon, gutters soon. All right guys, you see a little problem here? See the inside? It's actually kind of warm in here with outdoors. See the inside here? I put up a couple battens, and I'll show you in a second, but do you see an issue? Because I got an issue. So I got a middle noggin right there, right? And I got the bottom plate there. I got a double top plate. There's nothing else to put the battens to on the top and bottom. Now you could kind of see it through here. See the sunlight going through there? That's the trim. So my batten is going from here down to the bottom, and the only place I have to nail into it is right here on this middle noggin. I mean, this stuff happens. You just can't think of anything. So I got to put in some more noggins that go about here all the way across, but the annoying thing is I have to do that the entire length here. So I got to do it here, and then that wall in a couple sections. So I got quite a few pieces of wood to cut and install. And then I got some battens already cut here. I'm going to need more. I'm going to need to process some more trim too. So let's get this trim and batten work and all that finished up, and then we'll move forward. Here's the battens on the outside. That's about what I did before the snow started getting to me a little bit the other day. Alright, so I just left them loose. I got the middle one in. I'll plumb them, and then I will nail in the top and bottom. Okay guys, here's what I'm doing for the top and bottom. I made up my mind. Instead of using a full 2x4, I took one and ripped it down. So I measured here, ripped it, have two pieces, like so, out of the cedar I had, out of the cedar I had. And now I'm just setting it and firing it in. Now this thing is only holding a little piece of batten on the other side, so I don't think it's too important, but I'm just firing some 16 gauge galvanized nails in here. And it actually feels pretty strong. I mean, it's really not going anywhere. I just have to, everywhere you see a seam, there's a nail coming from the other side. It just keeps that batten in place. So, and I just cut a few of these, what do you call it? So it's going pretty quick, and I figured it was a waste of wood to cut more 2x4s. I gotta jam this one in there, huh? Tricky, but on the tool belt, John. Trying to get into that habit. Softwood is nice to work with, let me tell you, versus that ash. All right, good deal. So we got 4 already. I'm going to keep running with it. nails on that one. Times. Let's have some more fun. Here's what we're looking like so far. Okay. And I'm gonna have to do the same thing over here too. I gotta put two up, one here and one here. Because remember, there's a big seam right there. And then I'm gonna need some here and then kind of above too. So this is a real pain in the you-know-what, but we'll get it done. Guys, we got, what do you want to call these? Half noggins? They're half as smart as normal noggins.
They're nogs.
All right, so we added those horizontals and we did a couple of these diagonals. Let me get on the other side because we got some glare action going on. Okay, we did all the way. We did a track on the top and bottom, like I said. Oh gosh, the mud. All right, and here, we can see it better over here. Okay, we did those, and the diagonals going up and then back down. So everywhere we have to put a batten in. Here's the battens in the mud hole. Okay, hopefully it starts drying out in here, Meg.
Hopefully.
Now that there's a roof on it. The battens looking sharp. I'm using the nailer that I just used to install the other half noggins. I don't know. At first I was doing centers with the nails, and I started doing that with the 16 gauge galvanized 2-inch nails, and then I was thinking, like, if you fire one straight through, you're missing all this to grab onto. But so I don't know. What do you think, Meg? Do it the two on the outside?
Yeah, I think it's stronger.
Yeah, it's just see, these boards, it was a standing dead tree that we got it before rot, so it's pretty dry to begin with. I don't expect a lot of shrinkage here, but you could get shrinkage like this, and then it's going to shear off these little nails. We'll see what happens. I don't think that's going to happen though. So I'm going to move forward and just do, I think, the two outsides, which would send the nail through the batten, through the siding, and then into, you could see the little gap there. I don't know if you could see it or not. It's right here. The noggin's right there. So we got one there, and then there's some meat to fire it into down here too. Not to mention the middle one. So we're gonna do it with the nice air nailer there, and we'll get this back row of battens all done. So then I can start on the siding, which is a bit more complicated. We'll do the sides. All right, Meg, see the kiln up there?
You see it, honey?
Look. All right, look at the short gable. There's a long side which has the panels on it and the short side, right?
Uh-huh.
So this would be at the top of the short side. See the angle there?
Yeah.
That angle is going to line up with the trim, and we're going to put it up there. I don't know the distance that we need to cut it yet, but the other one that's running all the way up the panel gable, that will come and go like that, essentially.
Okay.
All right, and then we will measure and figure out where to cut that 45 degree. These are two different widths.
That's why you can't do a 45.
So you can't cut these at a 45 and have it all line. I mean, you can, but it would look really bad. So we're going to do a butt joint and run it down that long wall as 4-inch, and this is 4 3/4. So I think that'll be good.
All right.
Let's do the back wall first because we have to trim a little bit on the front wall.
Yesterday it rained, and John was out here without a camera because it was raining, and he did all of the battens on the bottom, all the way around. He finished them. Look at how nice that looks. Did all those. He did the trim on the corners. And he did this side. So now he's working on the trim for the corner. For the gable, I mean. He's been working really hard.
Let's go around the back. Watch the mud. So here's the plan. We're going to get this one up in place. Just screwed in to hold it where it needs to be. And then we'll run the other one, make lines where they intersect and go cut them and then put them up for good. I don't know if I like trim work or framing better. Like, framing is the easy part. Trim work it's hard. Doing all this, cutting everything exactly to the 16th, and
It's a lot of up and down.
it really is.
It's more precise.
Yeah. All right, let's see how this fits. We got to cut the end off here. All right, that there, and then this there. And it's like a weird angle. It's like 44 or something, I don't know. So we're just gonna draw lines and then cut it. I think a nail is gonna hold it better. Okay, good?
Yeah, the sun came out.
Here's the sun. Okay, so that one's there. Would you mind handing me that one that's cut at an angle, Meg? That one on top? It's got a hole. Actually, I gotta get down anyway. So that's gonna go to that tip down there. I'm looking at the polycarb top and the top of this.
Yeah.
So that then the 4-inch piece that runs down the whole thing, and then it'll protect it from like moisture and everything up in here. So all right, let me make a mark here. Here. That's gonna get cut off, and then match it here all the way up. And that'll give us the peak that our ridge cap will go over.
Cool.
Okay?
Yeah.
I think we're all good here. I think we got our marks. I did want to mention, like, today is a good day. Basically because it's not raining and it's not freezing cold. And it's not windy. It's a good day today, but our weather this time of year is just awful. It's like you're living in the Northwest with the rain and the clouds and everything else. When it does rain, it doesn't dry and it just stays cold and it's just a constant slopping around. So we're trying our best to get a lot of content out there during our build, but it's also a struggle for us because we're just not given as many opportunities through the week, not to mention the short days. But I did want to give you guys a heads up. I purchased everything that I'm going to need to computerize the mill. So if you don't know, I took my sawmill's crank, actually it broke, the thing that raises the bandsaw up and down. I fixed that very early on and I feel like I upgraded it to a ball screw. And then I did some other work to reinforce the weight distribution with the pulleys on there. And I always intended to put a CNC or a stepper motor on the end of that ball screw and to control it with an Arduino, which is, if you don't know, just a microcontroller. So I'm going to do the custom programming. It's going to be pretty technical, but I did order everything. That's coming. And the reason we want to do that is when we start, which is very close, start milling our wood for the house, we're going to get very consistent cuts. The correct thickness. We will pre-program everything. What's up, Meg?
And also, if you look very carefully right there in the shed, you see a box? What's that, John?
Oh, yeah. There's a box in the shed there. We have the engine upgrade for the sawmill too. So I planned on doing that maybe next week when the rain is hit. I could get the sawmill off and just put it in the shed and work on it in the shed and do the engine swap there. So we're going from the 301cc engine to the 420cc engine. So that takes us from an 8 horsepower to a 13 horsepower. But what I really like about that motor is it comes with an electronic start. So there's not going to be any more hand cranking. It's just a turn the key and it's going to fire it right up. So we have the extra horsepower. The mill cutting all this ash was showing its weaknesses, and we have some hardwood that we need to mill for the house, and we want it to come out really good. We're going to install it on that sawmill. I think there's a few modifications I need to make, but yeah, that's coming too. So more sawmill improvements, and we'll do what we can to get that solar kiln done, and we'll start milling our real wood very soon. It's just we're working with what we got here. Playing the hand that's dealt. Look at that quarter sawn ash. Look at that. Look at it! Nice, huh? That board is going to stay very straight. It's not going to cup. That's a very nice board. I drew this line here, these two dots, and then I just drew the straight, but then I threw my speed. Now that's minimal, and I know a lot of people would probably just chop that off at 90. It's probably only 1 degree. But if you have a wonky angle and you really need to figure it out, you could flip your speed square over. I'm sorry, wait, hold on, I'm getting confused. Sorry, over here, you could continue that 45-degree line, okay? Use that as a reference, and then come over here with your pivot point, and see where it's 45 right there? Mm-hmm. Now you can move it over to where it's going here, and then you can see it's 43.5 degrees. Ah. So that's an inch or 1.5 degrees. So you could just move your miter saw over 1.5. Make your cut.
Cool.
And that was perfect.
That looks good.
Yep. That's it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Left-handed?
You can do it, John.
No, I can't.
Yes, you can. You're doing great.
No, I'm not. There we go. Okay, let's go to the peak. So now we could do all these goofy battens.
Goofy?
Yeah.
How's it matching up?
How's that? Good deal. Up. And go right there.
That'll look good.
We will probably do some just 16 gauge nails, a lot of them right through. We can caulk that, and then we're going to silicone the edge where it hits the polycarb.
All right.
Cool?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks nice.
Paint looks like it got soap in it. I don't know about that. We finally have some luck with the oil based. I think everything else when we had that cold weather, I think it all froze. But this one seems to be okay. I don't want to use oil based, but that's what we got.
Good work, Meg.
Thanks.
Looking good, Meggie.
It's starting to get cold.
Yeah. All right, Meg's painting all those so we could just put them up and not have to worry about them.
Yeah, it's easier to do it now than later.
Yeah. Cool.
I'm almost out of paint, so
Oh boy. Well, that's
I have enough to finish.
Okay, cool. All right, while Meg's doing that, I'll show you what I'm doing. All right, I've had all these battens. I've been cutting them at 45s, and then I'll go up and show you the next step. Okay, I got this side done, and it's looking really good. And we intentionally lined everything up so the battens all fall in line with each other there. Okay, so that's done. Let me show you how I'm actually measuring and cutting those. There's a little trick to it that can speed things along. So I'm on this side. This is the last batten side that I need to get done. And sun's going down. I'm gonna see if I can get a few done real quick. Okay, so what I've been doing, I roughly line it up with this batten below. You could eyeball it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you want it to basically, like if it comes down further, you could actually feel it and line it up really nice. But anyway, if it's a shorter one like this, you can just eyeball it. All right, eyeball to there, and then roughly get the center. All right, and then you check for plumb. And you only have to check one time. So now I can make adjustments, keeping the bottom section lined up with the batten below. Check for plumb, get it, and then I make a line here and here, and then I make my cut line where it needs to be. Here to here, that's my waist. Let's go cut it and then we'll install it. Because then, when you go install it, all you got to do is put the bottom where it goes and kind of just swing this into place and you know it's going to be plumb. Here's my lines down on the bottom. There we go. All right, here's my line there and there. And then just swoop it in and you know it's going to be plumb. And then, I haven't nailed this side yet. There it is. Boom. Plumb. I meant to record this part, guys. Put these up. So those are the edges, but these are different. These are going to cover the rafters, the seams here. So I have them, these are 4-foot polycarbonate sheets. And so this will cover up the seam and allow us to silicone either edge, keeping the water out of the seams. All right, there we go. I got this venting tape from 3M, and from what I've researched and looked up, this stuff you're supposed to put on the bottom edge of the polycarbonate. And to me, it just doesn't seem like it's a water or a weatherproof type tape. But I mean, this is what I researched and this is what it says to use. So there is, it's kind of like a filter type tape. And you're supposed to put it on the bottom edge. Now the top edge gets just some aluminum tape like this. So we're gonna keep stuff from dripping in the top, and we're going to prevent things from getting in at the bottom. But if there does happen to be some condensation on the inside at any point, that can drip down and get out through this tape. But this tape will keep out insects and things like that, hopefully. So I'm gonna put that on real quick before I get these rafters up.
So John totally roughed it in the freezing cold this morning and got all these up. So all we pretty much have left is finish this caulk. The ridge cap needs to go on and the doors. Is that it, John?
Yeah, when you can, come and touch up the ends of these.
Yeah.
Not the top. So also, I did want to mention, right here, it looks like these are a little short. They are. The length of them, there's going to be a foam strip that goes here all the way across the 24 feet of the roof. Mm-hmm. That's going to go on first, and then when we put the ridge cap on, it will compress a little bit and we'll nail to these.
Okay.
Or screw into those.
All right, awesome.
So that'll seal out any bugs or anything like that. Okay guys, Hopefully sunny days are ahead so we can start using this solar kiln. We're looking pretty good, huh? Why do you look so sad? What's wrong, Meg? You don't like the mud? This is post-snow mud. It's mud season, Meg.
Mud on another level. This episode of Walnuts and Wineberries brought to you by Mud.
Did you get into a fight with a bear?
Mm-hmm.
Should we tuck it back in? Here.